All right, so today I want to talk to you about something that's very relevant and exciting to us all. Books. I know. As students, that's probably not what we wanted to talk about today, but I genuinely want to talk to you about the single most important book of your life. And I'm not talking about Harry Potter, I'm not talking about 50 Shades of Grey, anything by Sarah J. Maas, or definitely not the Financial Accounting Concepts textbook. The book I'm talking about, you can't find it in the MRU library, you can't find it online, but it is a book that is being written by each and every one of you every single day. Oh, wrong way. The book I'm talking about is the book of your life. And so today, while I have your attention, I want to share with you how you can write the most impactful book of your life. And to me, this way of looking at life really adds so much substance to every day. That breakup you went through, losing a grandparent, that car accident you got into, failing that exam, all of these stories really shape who we are and really help us define who we are. And so today, I have an idea for how we can write the most impactful book of our lives. And when I say idea, I mean that quite literally. It's an acronym that stands for identity, direction, execution, and authenticity. So over the next couple minutes, I'm going to walk you through a couple of the own chapters in my own life to help you kind of see how I came to discover this idea framework. So for many of us, high school is a time that we look fondly back upon, but for me, it wasn't quite so glamorous. You see, high school, I had a really bad speech impediment, I couldn't pronounce my R's, and my identity was so tightly clung to this one group of students in my class. And so as I kind of went through from K to 10, I was really tight with this group, but slowly I started to lose my identity and I stopped getting invited to group events, stopped getting invited into the group chats, and I really lost myself because my identity was with them and my authentic self was being stifled over and over and over. And so with this in mind, I did the most logical thing I could think of. I applied to MRU, U of A, and decided on one thing, a one-way ticket to Australia after high school. So I hopped down there. I don't know how many of you have done individual travel, but it is a catalyst for learning about yourself, learning who you are, learning what you actually like to do, not just getting caught in the groupthink of who we are with in high school. And so for me, as it turns out in the self-discovery process, I wasn't really someone who loved traveling. On Instagram, you see the waterfalls, you see the Sydney Opera House, but in general, it's actually pretty boring, it's quite lonely, but it still is something. I know I haven't done a great job pitching you on it, but it's something I do recommend. And so this diagram here, if you can see here, I actually have this tattooed on me. And it's something that always reminds me of the direction we have in our life. And the direction, the path that we have is where we are now, but we have infinite paths forward. And so this is such a empowering way to look at just the past isn't indicative of the future, but you can definitely look on those chapters to kind of help you learn. And so after 8 months in Australia, I came back home. And during this time, I was really amped up to become a bartender to help save up money for tuition. And I look like I'm 15 now, so this was 4 years ago, so it did not go very well. And long story short, I ended up not getting any responses back, and I was pretty bummed out about this. But I talked to my mom, and she's like, you know what, you can take this time to really invest in yourself. And so that's what I did. And so over the next months, I was doing the whole quarantine thing for COVID before it was cool. I was reading books all the time, becoming a book nerd. I never liked reading in school because they always put Shakespeare in your face. And does anyone actually like Shakespeare? I certainly don't. But the books I would read is like The Subtle Art by Mark Manson, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Think and Grow Rich. So many books. I have summaries of them if you ever want them. So, but the book that was most impactful to me was this book here. I don't know how many of you have read this book, but it's all about determining why you do what you do. And so what we do, most of us in here are students. How we do that, we go to class, we take exams, we do projects. But why do we do that? And most people don't know the foundational answer to that. And so I really thought about this, and what I came to determine with my life is why I do everything I do is I want to help people live the lives they want. I want to help people write the stories they want. So you fast forward to today, and the most important part of the idea framework is authenticity. And it is something that I genuinely lacked during my time in high school. I was trying to be someone I wasn't, but by becoming your authentic self, you really attract people into your life who should be in it. And so the rule with being the author of your own story is that, well, I spoiled it, but you are the author. So you get to choose what you do. You get to choose the story you write. Those tough moments you're going through, choosing to be a leader on campus, all of you in this room are deliberately writing on the page today that you are a student leader. And so this framework for me really helps add substance to every day. If you're having a tough time, if you're doing well, if you're not doing well, it really adds so many moments that you can look back on and reread your chapter. So before we conclude, I have one question I all want you to think about, and it's this. Oh, sorry, this is the framework again. But the one question I want you to think about is, what book do you want to write today? So thank you so much.